Hello everybody. So I wanted to do a review for you guys today on the Jaclyn and Morphe Vault collection. Am I holding it upside down? I am.
Run away, and I know I'm right now. We can change anything and make it better together now.
It looks like this. This is Bling Boss, but let's go ahead and do the review. I wanted to do this. I got all four of them. I got them from Ulta. They cost $15 separately. I believe, I'm not positive. Let me see. I want to be correct. So these cost $15 each if you guys get them separately. If you are to get all of these in the actual bundle, I think it costs around like 50 bucks, maybe 54, depending on tax where you live. They do normally, like I said, they cost $15 each regularly. This is Ring the Alarm. They do come really nicely packaged in the bubble wrap when you get them for protection and of course for shipping. So this is what it looks like. As you can tell, it has some, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it has some like coppery places on there. Some of the stars and the circles on there are copper, not all just silver. And by the way, all of the palettes are like that. If there's like a basic color, like one of the colors from the color scheme in there, they have it on that, like that. Of course, little wrapping, sanitary. So this actually is really pretty. This reminds me a little bit of modern Renaissance a little bit, but also there's a couple of these shades that look very similar to the other makeup palette, to her other one. They look very similar. There's a couple of them that look kind of similar to just the regular Jaclyn Hill palette that was launched first. Lolly looks pretty similar to one of the other ones. This is all of the colors. This one is another one that's kind of similar in this one, but I would say only the shimmers are. Otherwise, I think all of them look pretty new for this, but they are really pretty. I like the warm tones. Really pretty autumn colors. I do like the Lolly color. That one's really pretty. And if you don't know, that is the name of her dog, her Shih Tzus. I'm gonna go into Armed and Gorgeous. Now, if you saw her latest tutorial, she did already use this one in a tutorial, so you already know what this one looks like. This one has the yellow tones on it. Okay, VIP looks really pretty. There are 4 shimmers in this as well, and all of the rest of them are matte. These are really pretty actually. A couple of those would be really pretty for highlights. I do like that green color. I've not seen a really pretty like army green color. That is really pretty. So the next one I'm going to go into is Dark Magic. So this one was the one I was actually really excited for because I don't have any colors that really look like this, and they're really fun. I can see really cool. They're all cool tones. They're really pretty. So that Temptress shade is kind of like a glittery matte black. It has a little bit of a sparkle in there, just a little bit of one. It looks like they're like gold, or not gold, silver flakes. They're really fine. You can barely even see them in there. The camera may not even pick that up. But there are 3 shimmers in here, and all the rest are matte besides Temptress. Okay, so this one is Bling Boss. This one has lilac colors within the silver. Now these are all purples. Ooh, they're really pretty. So this one has 5 shimmers in it, and this one has, all the rest of them are mattes. Now actually all of these ones in here don't look like they're very similar to any of those shades in the Jaclyn Hill palette, except for maybe the Mystique color, and I want to say maybe the Berry Treasure. They kind of somewhat look like they're pretty similar to a couple of them in the other palette. But otherwise, I would say those are the only ones. And actually the Berry Treasure looks more like, has gold, but like a hint of like a pink sheen in there with the shimmer. But it's very fine. It's really pretty. As far as Dark Magic, there are really no colors in here that are very similar to any of the shades in her normal Jaclyn Hill palette. The original Jaclyn Hill palette. Poof might be the only one, which is the very bright bone colored one. That would be the only one I would say is pretty similar to any of them out of the shades in the original Jaclyn Hill palette. Otherwise, all of them are very new. And then in Armed and Gorgeous, all of them look new. None of them look the same at all. VIP though, that one and Coin, those look really pretty for like highlight shades. Look very pretty. Here it is, another little overlook. Ring the Alarm, I believe this was the one that I said the fall colors. This is the only one that looks like there might be a couple of shades that look like they kind of were in the original Jaclyn Hill palette on camera, and Lolly a little bit, but Lolly's a little bit darker. So on camera looks kind of similar to some of the shades, to one of the shades in there. Boom kind of does too, but like I said, they all look like they're different, like just the littlest bit, but they all look like they're fairly new shades. They would not have come out with them if they weren't new. So I am going to decide which one I'm going to use. I have pink hair now, again. So let's see, I'm gonna pick one that's gonna go well with my hair. I am not gonna use the Ring the Alarm because I have used colors like this before in other tutorials. I might use Dark Magic. Let's see. I'm gonna use Dark Magic. I might use a couple of different shades from the Armed and Gorgeous palette just so I can like do like highlight shades. I'm gonna try and use all of these for like highlights as well. So I'm gonna use Dark Magic and Armed and Gorgeous. Here are these two together. I'm going to use these two. I'm going to mainly use this one. I'm going to use a couple of shades from this one. So I'm mainly going to be doing swatches from this one. I will swatch all of them for you, but I want to go ahead and like start doing my eyeshadows. I did hear from a couple of people. I didn't want to try them until I reviewed it for you guys, so I wasn't like biased in any way. But I have heard that the pigments in these are kind of more directed towards makeup artists, so they have a lot of pigment in them, but you have to really like build them up. So let's see how that is. I'm gonna use a little bit of Poof on my brush just to kind of set my concealer. So I do like, I mean, this is just basic, like your basic standard bone colored shadow. Not much to go off of right there. And there is a good pigment with it. This one kind of matches my actual shade of my skin, so I do like that. Usually I have an issue finding some that actually match. This one matches pretty well. So I'm gonna actually swatch a couple of them first. I'm gonna swatch Power Cut. So it is this shade right here. Looks like that. Ooh, that's really pretty. That's really pretty. It's like a nice steel gray with a little bit of like a taupe, like a shimmery taupe. So here's what that color looks like. That is Power Cut. So I'm gonna also swatch Trickery. I'm gonna swatch all of the like shimmery tones. I'm gonna do some of the actual like matte ones to see how those ones are. Okay, these are very pigmented. This is Trickery. Here is Diversion. I will say this packaging is very nice, but it does get dirty really quickly, even if you just press a little too hard down. This is Diversion. Look at that pigment. They feel so buttery, very nice and smooth. That one blends really well. I like the pigmentation of that one. They all feel really nice and buttery though. I can definitely tell how these would be more buildable, but definitely like just with the way they're swatching, like they seem like they're gonna be very pigmented. So I'm gonna do Busted a little bit. So again, the packaging does get fairly dirty fairly quickly. You can kind of see on the outer edges there's a little bit of color on there already, just from swirling it around. But this is the color. This is the color. I'm going to put it right here, just below Diversion. So the mattes actually, they do blend out really well when you swatch them, but I will say they're a little bit patchy. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's what makes the eyeshadow just from the actual swatch. It could just be because, again, they're like a pressed pigment. You need to kind of build it up onto your actual eye. So that is what it looks like actually swatched, but that's okay. It's still a really pretty color, but it's a matte. So I'm also going to swatch some of Potion. Potion is this army green color. It looks like this. So this one's really patchy, but doing a second layer definitely helped it. Sorry, you can see my hair follicles on my arms, but you can see with those mattes, they're kind of patchy when you swatch them. That doesn't necessarily mean that's how they're gonna be when you put them on your eyes. But so far, I'm liking the formulation of the actual shimmers than I do the actual mattes. But again, like I said, that doesn't necessarily mean that's how they're going to apply when you actually put them on your eyes. So I'm not going to swatch anymore. Let's go ahead and do the actual eyeshadow. I'm still going to post swatches of all of the colors, but I will do that here. So I wanted to tell you guys a little bit more about the shadows. I really enjoyed the shimmer shadows. They're very creamy, very pigmented. They go on like almost like a foiled eyeshadow. I really enjoy them. The mattes, however, they gave me a little bit more trouble, but I will say in Armed and Gorgeous, they weren't as hard as some of the other ones to pack on. You do kind of have to work with them as the same as all of them. You kind of have to blend them out a little bit more, but they are still really nice. You just gotta work them up. So this is Dark Magic. You guys, again, the shimmer shadows were like a dream. Almost foiled pigments. It's super nice. The mattes, again, you still have to kind of work with, kind of blend them. Those couple of blues, those ones were ones that were a little bit more patchy. The black on the end, that one is one that had a little bit of sparkle, but you can't really see it. They could have added a little bit more in there to make it stand out a little bit more, but it wasn't bad. This is Ring the Alarm. Again, the shimmer shades were my favorite. Lolly is one of them that is super similar to the one that is in the actual Jaclyn Hill palette. There is one that looks almost identical to it, and same thing with that fourth color. That one's kind of identical to one of the other ones, but other than that, they were all really nice. You can see some of the shimmer, some of the matte shades in this one were giving a little bit of a hard time as well. But again, when they're kind of hard to put on like that, it's good to build them up. That way you can get them to the intensity that you like. So I'm not mad at it. Now, Bling Boss. The mattes in this one were so much better than in all of the other palettes. These ones were the best, in my opinion. You can actually see the shimmer in the darkest color at the end on the right side of my arm. You can actually see those ones really well. Again, the shimmer shades in this are my favorite. I love the formulation for the shimmer shades. The mattes could have been kind of reformulated to match the pigmentation of the shimmers, but overall no negativity, just a couple of the patchiness, and that could be something that's fixed, that they tried to fix, but again, I'm not mad at it. So overall, I'm very happy with all of the palettes. Okay, so back into it. Here is, again, Dark Magic. So I'm going to go in and use, I'm going to use Potion. I'm going to use Potion in my crease. Actually, I'm going to use a little bit of Shh in my crease. So here is a Shh. Here is Shh. I can't say that without laughing. So this is just like a nice transition shade. It's like a medium chocolate brown. These are definitely buildable, especially with a crease brush. By the way, this is a Morphe M441. I actually do like that tone. It's a nice medium tone, very buildable, so I'm sure you could get that pretty dark if you wanted it to. So I'm only going to do one eye and then we'll do the other one off camera. Nice contour color, I will say. Nice cool tone, but with just the right amount of warmth to it. So let's use a little bit of Potion. So just right out off the bat, as I put my brush into this as I put my brush into this shadow, when you go into it, you do see a little bit of fallout with it, but it is like a pressed pigment, so that is pretty normal. I'm not digging into it either by any means, so they're very soft. You can see a little bit of the indentions I put into it. And like, again, I'm not digging into it at all. I'm just barely tapping into it, and it definitely did release a lot of like fallout, but again, it's like a pressed pigment. So I'm going to put a little bit of this right here. Again, these are seeming like they're very buildable, so you can get the intensity to be pretty high up there, I'm sure, if you wanted it to. That was my second like dip into the actual shadow, into the pan. So I'm going to put some of Inside Job in through over here. So this is the darker emerald type of green. So this one is looking kind of patchy as I'm placing it, but again, they are supposed to be very buildable, so I'm not hating this formulation at all. She did have to take everything out again and reformulate it because there was an inconsistency, but I feel like they definitely fixed it. Like, just going back over with it, building that back up, that color is pretty nice and intense on there. Not really having any issues with it so far. The blend out though on this Inside Job, I'm not really liking how muddy that's looking right there. Take a little bit of, again, that brown. Okay, so I'm not really liking how that right there is looking really muddy. It's kind of blending into a shade that I'm not really happy with. But again, not mad at it. It's just mixing it a little bit, it gets a little bit muddy. I think what it is with this one is it just requires a little bit of patience with it to blend it and make sure it's seamless. The more that I'm actually sitting here playing with it and blending with it, it does blend pretty well. So I'm going to take a little bit of the actual tone again and blend this in with it up above. I take a little bit of potion and build this back up right here. Until I'm not really sticking it anywhere in through over here because I'm wanting to put an actual shimmer tone right there. I'm not going to use any of the shades from the Dark Magic palette. I'm going to use Armed and Gorgeous. Armed and Gorgeous palette. I'm going to place that. I want to place Coin mixed with a little bit of VIP. Here is Coin and here is VIP. I'm going to mix those two together. I'm going to put them right in the center. Now I want to see what these look like since I felt like they were really creamy. I want to see how they apply right there and see if they apply like a foiled shade. And actually, it does look really pretty. I don't mind having to build it. I'd rather build it and get it in the spots where I need it to, as opposed to just getting a straight line with foiling. This makes it really nice and blendable. So I'm gonna kind of wipe my brush off now, because that actually looks really pretty. I'm gonna put a little bit of VIP right in the center. Kind of blend them together. So I'm just kind of blending out the sides a little bit. So one thing I am noticing with this is that when you do, since it's not foiled, when I do this, and this is just me because my eyes have the wrinkle right there, it is kind of separating a little bit right there, but it's not terrible. Okay, so this is what the eyes look like right now. There's a little bit of blending that needs to be done. Otherwise, I did my base and everything. This little guy is a scab, so it was not very easy to cover, but don't mind that. We are paying attention to the eyes right now. I honestly think they look pretty good. I really like the way that they look. The gold, all of the shimmers kind of go on like a foiled eyeshadow. I didn't have to foil these at all, so that tells you the pigment is bomb. So my base is done. We're not going to go into detail on that because this video is not on my base. It is about the Vault collection, so we're going to stay in that. Kind of want to take some of Busted and put it down below. So I'm going to take a Morphe 432 brush. It is a brush that looks like this. Busted is this tone again, this one right here. You guys didn't get to see, but I put on Busted, and then after I blended that out, I put on a little bit more of Inside Job as well and blended that out. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little bit of this taupe, this nice medium brown, and just kind of blend that underneath my lash line. Just for a little bit more depth. I'm going to apply some mascara and put on some falsies. I'll be right back. So I am using Lily lashes in the style Mykonos. Here is what they look like. I am also using a eyeliner called Tide Pool from Aveda just to add in a pop of color, and I am mixing Guilt Trip with VIP to put as my highlight in the inner corners and on my brow bone. You can kind of see how it just adds that extra amount of depth within them. And now these ones are really fluffy, so you don't have to go for a dramatic eyelash look like this. That's just what I decided to do. I will say that I do definitely enjoy these eyeshadows. They are for sure, if you are not used to working with pressed pigments, they are a lot like pressed pigments. You have to kind of build them up. They start out a little bit more sheer so that way you can get the intensity that you do like. I do like them. Again, they are really pretty. They are very very pigmented. You were able to build up, like how I have the halo within the middle with the gold. You were able to get that super nice and built up like a foiled eyeshadow. So I do enjoy that. Again, I am wearing the Dark Magic palette and Armed and Gorgeous. Armed and Gorgeous is the one that I used the golds from. I used this one, and this one. And I used a little bit of Top Secret as well. On the rest of my eyes, I used the Dark Magic. I used Poof, Potion, Busted, and Inside Job. I also used a little bit of the color just for like the overall like shading of like the contour of my eye. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I even used those on the bottom lash line. Other than that, the look is done. Again, I do really enjoy them. I made myself not swatch them when I was in the store at Ulta because I wanted to kind of not be biased, see them for myself and see how they worked. So I actually enjoy them. Again, when I first started using them, I thought they were like, oh, these are gonna be kind of hard to blend, but they really aren't. They're really nice. I'm gonna zoom in again so you guys can see. Again, you don't have to use these kind of eyelashes I used. These are a little bit dramatic, but that's okay. I love eyelashes. I love it when they're dramatic with a halo eyeliner. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you guys think down below. Make sure you guys give this a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you know when I post more videos. I'm trying to become better at it and actually posting regularly, at least once a week. My schedule is kind of hectic. This is not the only thing I do for a living, so bear with me. I love you guys and I hope you guys enjoy this. Again, make sure you subscribe and I shall see you guys in my next video. Bye.